Hello, everyone, and to all the people joining us from different time zones. I'd like to welcome you to this all-important web conference. I see Lady dear Jean Jerome Baudry. Hello. Hi, Baudry. All right. I guess she needs to unmute herself to hear me properly. Yes. Last week was a very eventful one. It was wonderful. We had, by the way, my name is Isaac Moses, and I am the CEO of Goge Africa Worldwide Limited. So it's been nice. It's nice having you guys join us today for this all-important web conference. Last week was great. We had Dr. Bailey from Bog Investment Bank from New York. It was great having him on, and there has been connections with different investment sectors of Nigeria. We also had the commissioner from Akwa Ibom State, and there's this gentleman also from 360 Degrees who was of the opinion that all Nigeria needed to do to change the perception that we needed to rebrand Nigeria. Nigeria's perception to the world needs to be changed. So it's all about the narratives, right? This guy also joined us, was also, what's his name? Dr. Joe Madu also joined us from the African American. Joe Madu joined us from the African American Chamber of Commerce. It was also great having him. And today, just make it give you a snippet of what to expect today. It's all going to be another wonderful web conference. The Oni, His Imperial Majesty, is going to be joining us. If he has not already joined us, he's on for this conference. He's going to be speaking. When? I'll let you know. Today, we're going to find out how Nollywood and the investing public could actually collaborate to stimulate our domestic tourism. So it's all, a whole lot is lined up for today, but I'll pass it on to Neka to give you more details into the lineup of speakers. Neka? Hello, Neka. Can you all hear me?
Yeah,
or have I been
yes,
talking to myself?
Hear you. I can hear you. I just got carried away with too many information right here in front of me. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
All right. Well, good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, depending on where you're logging in from. Today, wow. As you know, we are of the opinion, and I'm sure everybody else is the opinion, that Nollywood has a role to play when we talk about tourism in Nigeria. They played a great role with tourism in other countries, South Africa, Dubai, Kenya, and so on and so forth. So now that entrepreneurs in the tourism industry in Nigeria have decided to go domestic, we also decided that it's time we brought in our brothers and sisters from Nollywood to find a place of pride in Nigeria's tourism. So that would be the, well, part of the real essence of today's meeting. That's why we have the Actors Guild president and the former president of Directors Guild here with us. We also have, right? Yes, Fidelis Duka is the former president of Actors Guild. We also have, former president of Directors Guild. But we have the present president of Actors Guild in the person of Mr. Chikwendu Rollers. Then I'm saving, do I say the best for last? Then we also have His Excellency, the the Tanzanian ambassador to Nigeria. He's going to be having a word with us here today, sharing some information about Tanzania. We also have a very nice lady from Tanzanian Investment Center, who will also have one or two things to share with us about the land of Kilimanjaro. And from there, we will welcome His Majesty, His Imperial Majesty, the Oni of Ife. So today is just so packed full of very important information and very, very important people to share those information with us. On that note, my chairman, what are we doing next? On that note, are we calling on the first speaker yet? Or I think I'd like to first of all introduce our team. And I'm talking about who? Well, let's have today we actually have two very important people in Nollywood to steer this conversation about Nollywood and why they are not promoting or why they are promoting domestic tourism in Nigeria. So I'd like to hear Lillian introduce herself to the audience. Then we have Chidi Mokeme to introduce himself to the audience as well. Let's start with Lillian. Lillian, let's hear you.
They're going to be steering this segment.
Thank you, Deka. My name is Lillian Ama Aluko. Yeah. I'm an actor, a writer, and a content producer. I was former vice president of the Association of Movie Producers for 2 terms, and I'm a practitioner in Nollywood. Thank you, Deka.
Okay. Do we hear, let's hear it from Chidi.
You guys didn't do this well.
Right, Chidi is here. Hi, everyone.
Chidi, introduce yourself to our audience, please.
Hi, my name is Chidi Mokeme. I'm an actor. Basically, that's what I'm basically known for. So I'm an actor, very interested in the new movement initiated by this cross-sectoral collaboration.
Chidi, what do you think about this cross-sectoral collaboration for tourism and economic development in Africa?
I think it's timely, you know. It's timely, no better time than now. So what has happened is the pandemic has channeled our focus, you know, to things that we previously overlooked, you know. So it's about time that we now refocus to what's really important, you know. So prior to this time, tourism meant getting on the plane and going somewhere nice and fantastic. Whereas we have nice and fantastic places right in our backyards that people want to come into and check out. We have just overlooked that it is our responsibility to package and market those places and make them worthy of visit, you know. So I think this is very timely. This is very timely. And I have to thank you, Goge Africa, Neka and Isaac, and the rest of your crew. You know, 20 years ago, as visionaries, nobody saw where you were going, you know, and you took on this journey. And now this is another visionary move, you know, to chart a new path for tourism in Africa and local tourism development. So I'm very enthused by this conversation.
Thank you, Chidi.
Great.
Okay, I'm still on the introduction. Okay, I'm still on the introduction. I'd like to introduce our team. Do we have Nena? Nena Fakfoyasmi is in charge of the chat room. Nena, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Nena.
Hi,
You're so beautiful.
Sorry if nobody hear you.
Tell us what's the chat room about and what do we expect from that corner?
Okay, please, I've put in the house rules there, but please, all your questions be directed to the exact speaker so we know who to give it to. And please, if you want to connect any of the speakers, send an email to conference@gogeafrica.tv. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Well, at this point, let's have Uche. Uche is in the question and answer section. Uche, are you with us?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to be here. I'm really super excited. Yeah.
Hi, Uche.
Okay.
Yes.
What goes on in the chat room?
Okay, so basically, you can drop your questions in the chat room. I'm there to take notice of it. And we are going to have, during the course of this session, we are going to have specific times for questions and answers. So based on instructions from the host, I will pick one or two questions that cut across all the sectors the speaker talked about, and then the speaker will try to answer it. So please, if you drop your questions, just be patient. Even if we do not answer it within this session, you will definitely get an answer from the speaker either by email. Thanks a lot.
Great, Uche. I even forgot to mention that last week, Sterling Bank supported the industry with 5 billion. So today, Sterling Bank are also going to be speaking to let us know how to access it and other necessary information the stakeholders out there need to know. So you can go on, Neka.
Yes, that information will be released. There will be a press release to that in that regard. There will be a press release actually. That's true. Okay. Yes. We also have Martins. Martins? Are you here? And we also have these are members of my group. Martins, Ayomide, and we have George Nauba, the control room. So now we know where everyone is.
Yeah, hi George.
Yeah. So we are the ones at the control room. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Do we have Mr. Emeka Rolas on already? Mr. Emeka Rolas, is he on? Because we're thinking the flow of the event today will be we'll have Nollywood come on board. And we hear from Mr. Emeka Rolas talk about the impact of Nollywood on Destination Nigeria. Thereafter, we will have an introduction maybe of Tanzania, yes, by His Excellency, and we listen to the opportunities we have for investing in Tanzania. Then we'll go ahead to listen to Mr. Fidelis Duka, who will be talking about the strategies for collaboration with Nollywood, a viable domestic tourism. Thereafter, we shall bring in His Imperial Majesty, the Oni of Ife. Okay.
So Emeka Rolas, could you please indicate your presence? Hello, Emeka.
It's trying to log in. Oh my goodness.
I'm here. Can you hear me? I hear Emeka. Emeka is on. I'm on.
Good to know that. Good to know.
You have the floor.
I'm on here. Virtual floor.
Emeka Rolas, I can hear you. Do you have a slide or?
No, I don't.
The slide, the network is messing me up, so I may not do slides, but I just want you all to listen from the angle I'm going to come from.
Okay.
How many minutes do I have?
10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, go through. Okay, you have between 10 to 15 minutes. If you make it 10 minutes, that would be nice. So you get more time to answer questions.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Everyone who is hearing me, let me observe all other protocols. First of all, I would say that from the Nollywood end, I'm the president of the Actors Guild of Nigeria, and we are presently in 34 states, and we have over 2 million members in Nigeria. That, of course, explains to you the importance of our celebrities in this discourse for today. But let me start with saying that we cannot be talking about developing the domestic tourism with Nollywood impact when already we have deployed a lot of movies that is changing the narrative. You know, we feature self-depreciating storylines and cultural symbolisms of money rituals, kidnapping, prostitution, and generally tainting the Nollywood heritage screen, all in the pursuit of the quick Nollywood buck with producers having little consideration for the depreciating socio-cultural values constantly defacing our national pride and culture. And you know that the creative industry, all generally in the global marketplace. Today, I want to release trilogy catapulted Picture Square, the New Zealand, into the tourism atmosphere, as the movie featured over 150 tourism and heritage sites across the country. The movie resonated with over 3 billion entertainment citizens with translations in over 100 languages across the world, thus creating a robust film-induced tourism economy that grew from $7 million in 2013 to an astounding 3.1 billion in 2014, just less than a year after the premiere of the movie, inspiring millions of film tourists to troop into the country to explore the scenic countryside ecotourism experience. We have another case study of Florida, the Sunshine State. The tourism economy of the state Florida is primarily driven by entertainment industry-induced tourism media marketing strategies that guarantee stable and predictable returns on investment for the state of Florida. In less than a decade, over 60% of international and domestic tourism footprints in Florida was influenced to be visited when they saw the Sunshine State in either a movie or a music video. Same goes for Las Vegas in the state of Nevada. The state of Florida, by design, deploys up to $1 billion a year in entertainment, film-induced tourism investment that generates between $5 to $20 of tourism revenue for every $1 of creative industry finance. Now, the issue here is that I do not know whether our stakeholders or our tourism practitioners really understand the advantages highly inherent in using Nollywood to promote what they have. And I tell you that I have, from our own end, we're already working on something, how we can partner with practitioners, investors, and even the financial institutions on what we call Nollywood opportunities for tourism, culture, heritage. That is NOTCH, that is NOTCH. This is a heritage tourism development marketplace product that should be engineered to activate heritage impact movies to accelerate culture tourism zones across every ethnic nationality in Nigeria to boost domestic tourism revenues through the Nollywood Heritage Impact Movies for Tourism Development Program. For instance, we have a Lapankai Tropicana that is a blue tourism. In Lapankai Tropicana, we ought to make use of pictures of our stars, pictures of what we promote, what we export into the outside world. People who love our movies in the whole Afro-Asia, people love our movies in the whole Africa. Then if we do not understand that the power we have, if you come to Nevada in Las Vegas, every corner in Las Vegas, you will see pictures of casino telling you about that this city is known for casino. We should encourage or find a way to discourage Nollywood film producers to change the narrative by making films that has impact on the culture, on the tourism zone across every ethnic nationality. This program should be provided to repurpose the Nollywood content development policy to drive strategic culture-centric narratives that mainstream of Pan-African heritage commodities, promote cultural tourism, and preserve domestic tourism zones across the ethnic diversities across Africa. Already, the United Nations World Tourism Organization statistics affirms that film-induced tourism, in fact, becoming the highest of international and domestic tourism marketing programs. Films as a tool for domestic tourism, media marketplace development carry a game-changing potential to shape social, cultural, political, and economic narratives which already we are not doing very well because of the style of the film that we are producing. The normal Nigerian film is filled with rituals, kidnap, and every tourist who wants to come to your country, it is that narrative you have sold to that tourist anywhere that he begins to imagine. It's different from security. Security is just somebody can say something against your country and you can change it by merely coming up to debunk it. But when you make a film trying to say that a certain people in an area are known for something like this, it takes you time to change it. But now we should begin to talk to government agencies who are censoring our films, who are looking at the films that we are making, to begin to look deep down into such things if we really want to promote our domestic tourism using the Nollywood or using the notch as a pattern. And the way it's been looked at, if we look at it, as a lot already been said of the scattering script scenario that is plagued with the Nollywood for over 2 decades. Anywhere you go in the Caribbean, anywhere you go in this world, we are talking about Nollywood films. There are even narratives that have been portrayed that our men who are living in Canada, living in foreign countries, cannot talk to young girls because they tell them that you people are coming from ritualist countries. So we need that these things should also be considered as very, very important in what we intend to do. The Nollywood impact that we need to make should not just be one-sided. We must consider the multicultural heritage tourism marketplace revenue profile. We look at the eco-tourism marketplace. We look at the culture tourism marketplace. We look at the geotourism marketplace. We look at the heritage tourism. We look at the blue tourism. We look at the arts and crafts tourism marketplace. We look at the sports tourism marketplace. We look at the fashion tourism marketplace. We look at the food tourism marketplace. In each of the Nollywood films, we need to put these things in perspective. So when you watch a Nigerian movie, you would, from the Nigerian movie, talk about the environment, talk about the culture, talk about the green policy, talk about the aquatic splendor, talk about the food, talk about the arts and crafts, just in one film. I just gave an instance of the New Zealand, The Lord of the Rings, what it generated within that period of how people wanted to see the scenery live because they saw it in a film, a blockbuster that made a lot of money. And at that point in time, the country, New Zealand, recorded a very big boost in the tourism subsector. So we need to come here domestically to look at all of these things and put them in our policies, because when Nollywood hit the level that it hit now, when Nollywood hit what it hit some 20 years back, nobody knew it was going to be like that. But now that we have known, it is important for us to gather ourselves together and see how we want to promote this domestic tourism using Nollywood as a very strong base and as a craft that we change the picture. If we waste more further time, neighboring countries will pick from what we are doing and change their own system. For instance, it is only in Nigeria today that anybody can come from anywhere.
I want to record it.
That anybody can come from anywhere to open camera and begin to film. That if you go to Ghana, you cannot do such. Even Liberia, that just came up from a war-torn country some years ago, you don't shoot anyhow. This is because they are picking and learning from Nigerian Nollywood, and they are putting their own together. So we need to come and support this. So we are open to practitioners in the tourism subsector. We are open to federal government. Wherever they need us, we will join them. A lot of our celebrities are very good to be ambassadors of all the tourist sites in Nigeria, joined with government. If you go to a very big tourism site in Abuja, and as you're entering, you see the pictures of Richard Mofedamijo, Chidimo Keme, Richard Dominic. All of those things are ways of using our own to promote what we are doing within the the Nollywood, the tourism sector. So Nollywood, from the Actors Guild of Nigeria, we are ready and open. We are ready to have a niche using our substance to support people in the tourism sector to develop domestic tourism. All of these that we are putting together, we're open. A lot of our members are open to join government, to join private people to develop the tourism sector in Nigeria. And our own, we are not tourism practitioners, but we have found out that what we have can actually induce tourism very greatly. And that is why we are laying all our support. And some of our members who are on this platform today, everybody is looking at it from the angle of positivity, that we are ready to promote domestic tourism. Anywhere you need us, we are ready to join the media to promote what we have, but we need to also affect the policies of filmmaking in Nigeria so that we can change the narrative effectively. We have painted Nigeria bad enough. There are so much happening in other countries, but when they make their films, they don't go that way. But here in Nigeria, so we need to change all of these narratives as we are moving. And I believe that we are standing tall as the Nollywood leaks about 70% of the over 3 billion Afrotainment consumer marketplace of the global Afro-heritage movie industry. So a potential gold mine to deploy film-induced tourism investments to drive culture tourism revenues for economic development, harnessing just 5% of Afrotainment marketplace through bankable heritage film-induced tourism finance programs will readily jumpstart Nollywood-induced tourism revenues that will drive up domestic and international tourism to national productivity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Emeka Rollers. Thank you, Emeka Rollers. Well, I'll let Chidi and Lillian handle this. Lillian? Hello?
Hello.
Yes. Emeka has spoken brilliantly. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. For those who joined while the AGN president was speaking, let me just give a brief recap of what he talked about. He said they're presently in 34 states and they have 2 million members. That is huge. 2 million members in Actors Guild. He talked about basically the fact that the the Actors Guild and the industry generally is putting out right now are depreciating our national pride globally. He gave case studies to prove the positive effects of movies on the tourism revenues of other countries. He talked about the Lord of the Rings trilogy and another film from Florida. He said AGN is presently working on tourism heritage impact movies. By that, they want to engage the tourism space and produce movies that will promote our country positively. The thrust of his presentation was basically about how to get Nollywood to change the narrative and present the country positively. We have a lot of movies, but the AGN president said a lot of what we're putting out does not present us positively globally. So what AGN is working on now is how we can do movies that will project our tourism heritage. He also said, to round up, that AGN is open for collaboration with government, tourism entrepreneurs, and other industries to help promote domestic tourism. What I understand from what the Actors Guild president has said is that Nollywood is ready and waiting to join hands with all of us here trying to promote domestic tourism to move the industry forward. I can see there are a lot of questions for Emeka Rollers. So I'd like Chidi to take the questions so that Emeka can expatiate more. Chidi, are you ready?
Chair. Yeah, I'm here, Lillian.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm here, Lillian. Thank you very much, Emeka. I thought Uche was taking the questions. but I'd just like to quickly comment
Okay.
on what Emeka has said. You know, Emeka, thank you so very much for that very instructive presentation. You know, it's nice that you mentioned film tourism. You know, you also said somewhere in your presentation that as actors and as practitioners, you are not really involved in tourism, but that we are ready. But as soon as you say film tourism, you see that there really cannot be tourism without film, and there cannot be film without tourism. You know, film is classified under cultural tourism in most cases. You know, and someone will say, oh, if film people are ready, and if investors and stakeholders in the tourism industry are ready, then what's holding them? You know, so that's the missing link. So Emeka will have to clarify for us, what does ready mean? You know, what particular pattern can these collaborations take between the stakeholders and the practitioners in Nollywood? In what specific ways can these collaborations happen? You know, what needs to happen? Does Nollywood need to make an attempt to contact these people, or do these practitioners or stakeholders need to contact Nollywood? So there must be a targeted communication, strategic communication that says, okay, this is what Nollywood can do for you. This is how we can go about doing this. You know, we're talking about film tourism. Film tourism, process of attracting visitors to a particular destination by portraying them in the stories and in the movies and on TV, you know, and so to speak. So the two are intricately, if you ask me, linked together, you know. Emeka has mentioned what the film Lord of the Rings did for New Zealand, you know, and so many films have done such for all the countries. For instance, Harry Potter is doing same for Britain. Just the King's Cross station alone gets millions of visitors every year from just it being featured in the Harry Potter movies. Britain has done the same, you know, drawing millions and millions of people to those locations. And in the same way, strategic heritage sites are being used in movies to project those places to the outside world. Film has a way of helping people make emotional connections. That's what stories do. Stories help us make emotional connections. So we can make emotional connections when we insert this product into our movies. So that's a way for practitioners and stakeholders to look at it, to begin to consider product placement as destination placement, location placement. The same way corporate organizations find a way to input their products in a movie, in a story, in an ad. Top practitioners, tourism organizations, destination marketing organizations must also find a way to use Nollywood and the stories that they tell to do destination placements for all of the destinations they have in mind to attract visitors to.
Chidi, you actually took the word out of the mouth of those that are yet to speak and those that have spoken already. You shouldn't have been on this. I think you should have been. Let's not forget.
That's a burning.
Let's not forget that Fidelis.
That's a burning question, though.
Yes.
Just before he comes on, Neka, can you hear me?
Yes, he's not coming on immediately. I was just trying to remind Chidi that he will be coming on.
Okay. Now, now there's something I'd like to point at Lillian, Chidi, and Emeka. I mean, any of you can very well, answer the question. Okay. Somebody said that Nollywood comes up with movies based on the demands of their viewing populace. What do you answer to that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd like to integrate that. Absolutely. That's why I was asking Emeka to clarify for them what it means, this collaboration between practitioners and the tourism stakeholders. Nollywood, first and foremost, are businessmen who source funds to make movies so that they can reap some kind of income, you know, and because they have done this and grown this industry solely by themselves through hard work, sweat, and blood without any government input, nobody expects them to take on the job of laundering the image of the country. It's got to be a targeted communication. So I think that it is in the place of government, tourist practitioners, tourism stakeholders, and investors to recognize the medium of Nollywood as a tool by which everybody can reach a win-win compromise.
Can I take the question now?
Chidi, okay, let's hold that thought there. There are a few people that we need to actually acknowledge. Everybody here is well acknowledged, but it's important for us to know that we have His Excellency, the High Commissioner for Tanzania in our midst. Sir, would like to say hello. Can we hear you say hello to us, sir? Your Excellency. Kindly unmic yourself.
Hello, Your Excellency, from Tanzania.
We also have
Isaac.
hello.
Hello.
Okay,
Yes.
yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Hello.
We are fine in Abuja.
Okay, Dr. Benson Bang.
With you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. It's good to have you on this show today. Thank you so much for joining the conference.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
I also know you. Yes, sir. I also know you have somebody from Tanzania Investment Center. Hello, is she there?
I expected Diana to join me the discussion, but I can't see her on my screen.
I'm present, Your Excellency.
Diana, she's the present, yes.
Yes.
Okay, Diana is here. All right. Well, we'll be glad to listen to Tanzania a bit later, but let's try and try some talks here about Nollywood. I mean, Nollywood is not just a Nigerian thing. It's actually for Africa. I'm sure you all agree with me.
Nollywood is a phenomenon.
We have some question and answers to take. We take the question and then we'll get the answers from Mr. Bekarolas. Chidi, you took most of Emeka's time. I'm going to penalize you for that. All right, so let's have Uche. Uche, can we take about 2 questions for Emeka? Right?
Yeah, sure. I'll start with the first question from Gap 3. I'll start with the first question for Emeka Rulers. What is the Actors Guild's effort towards professional review, critique, and censorship of storylines in Nollywood? In simple language, is there any structure or platform or rule for movie storylines to go through any form of professional review at all for both quality and content before going into production? Some storylines are not ritualistic, but their content and quality demote both your industry and Nigeria as a country. So that's the first question. And I'll take another one also to the president of AGM. How does Nollywood plan to collaborate with the Ministry of Tourism for systematic showcasing of our cultural values? I have problem with how Nollywood represents Igbo society as heavily neck deep into money ritualism and less promoting their hardworking culture. Thank you. So we still have about 4 more questions, which will be sent to the speaker online, and the conference admin would reply everyone accordingly. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Carroll.
The first question is talking about what is Actors Guild doing in terms of professionalizing maybe scripts, looking at the script. Actually, it is not the work of the actors to check how the script works. But I must assure you that as I'm talking with you now, we are developing a whole lot of documents, just like Chidimokeme asked. The primary role here is that the documents we're developing will open ways how we can start talking with the bank, start talking with government, and then start talking with tourism investors. like Chidi said, like Mr. Isaac Moses said, they said that somebody says that people in the film industry make their film because of what the demands of the people. I want to disagree. We were the ones who started feeding them with what that, and they saw that we have no option. How can somebody describe 15 years ago in Nollywood and the present day? How did the cinema film come into being? People are making bigger budget films and they're making their money because there's a new way out of it. So we who are making the project will change the narrative. And when Stellenbank says we have 5 billion naira for the tourism industry, we'll work all of this into that aspect and see that some producers who didn't earlier have source of funding to make films, who also have sources of funding, but this time you're not making your own kind of movie, you are making a film that is supporting the tourism destination of Nigeria. Let us see how the film will not sell. That is for that. Then secondly, the question there is what are our plans? How do we plan to, please reflect with that second question, please, Uche. Uche, what's that second question? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Uche, what's that second question?
The second question, how does Nollywood plan to collaborate with the Ministry of Tourism for systematic showcasing of our cultural values?
Okay, as I speak with you.
Yeah.
As I speak with you right now, we have a document already about to be sent to the Ministry of Tourism in 5 different ways of what we can do to see that all of these things are inculcated in the things that are put together. So we are ready with that. We're ready with that very soon.
Okay, thank you for that, Emeka.
Thank you.
Okay. So Lillian. Okay. All right. At this point, we would like to, if you're a Nollywood practitioner in the house, kindly raise your hands so that we'll note you. And there's a reason I'm saying this because we'll get back to you real quick. But before then, I think we need to also acknowledge that some of the people, very important people that was at this meeting last week are here today again. To support what we are doing because they really want the growth of the economy in Africa and of course tourism in Nigeria and the rest of Africa. Sergio Madu, I see you somewhere, and I see Monica Grant, I see Dr. Raphael. Can you guys say hello to everybody if it's possible at this time?
Hello, good morning from New York. Good morning, everybody.
Hey, I hear you guys.
Fine. We are here with our team.
Interested in collaborating with he's the diaspora. He's interested in collaborating with us to make Africa better.
Yes. Good morning, everyone in Nollywood. My name is Dr. Raphael. I'm here from New York with my team. Monica Grant. She's the president of the Young Boss Media. And we've been talking with Goge Africa, who are our mentors in the media industry, to see how much we can contribute to Nollywood. Now, basically, if you notice that Nollywood is the most watched movies now in the whole world, either in East Africa, in North Africa, any part of the world, Nollywood is more watched. So we believe that we could bring in part of our experience in the movie part of the US to Nigeria and see how we can work together. Monica, please, can you say something to the people?
Hello, Monica.
Hey, I'm here.
Monica Grant.
Yes, I'm here. How you doing?
We're good. We're good.
Awesome. So I'm running off of zero sleep. I'm writing a book right now, and it's just finished. So I probably went to bed about 2 hours ago. So I'm not going to show my camera just yet, but I am here. I am with you, and I am ready to empower Nollywood and just all African, Black, Pan-African filmmakers all around, because we need our media seen. We need it to look great. We need to be empowered with the images that we see. And tourism is how we're going to build all of our countries and all of our economies.
All right, thank you. Sergio Madu is the president of Africa USA Africa Chamber of Commerce. Sergio, are you here?
Yes, I am, and greetings to all my brothers and sisters listening, and thank you to Goge Africa for putting all this together. I've listened to the previous speakers, and they're very much on point. Anything we can do to aggregate all our resources and leverage them and take them to the mountaintop is what I'm all about. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. The mountaintop. I recall a gentleman who, Alex, yes, from investing from the mountaintop. That was what he called his presentation. That was a good one. All right. Thank you, Sergio.
Okay, at this time, Lillian, I think you should be bringing in Mr. Fidelis Duka yourself. Still waiting.
Okay, thank you very much. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Fidelis Duka. Fidelis is presently the Regional Secretary General of the Federation of Pan-African Filmmakers, the PASI, and he was a former president of the Directors Guild of Nigeria. Fidelis is also the founder of Abuja International Film Festival and the founder and president of FAD Radio Station, FAD Radio Station in Calabar. Fidelis
93.3, right?
Yes. Fidelis is a foremost filmmaker. He's directed and produced over 100 movies. Please welcome Fidelis Duka.
Bienvenue, Monsieur Fidelis. You're welcome.
Yeah, hi, Fidelis. Hi, Fidel. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're
welcome.
Yeah. From the beautiful city of Calabar to everybody. I've been having this hectic time trying to connect to the network. It's been quite hectic here.
Oh, really? I thought there was 5G there.
So thank you very much. I must commend the organizers for this initiative. It's quite apt at this point in time, considering the present realities. We have to begin to look for other sources of income generation and all that. Interestingly, I listened to a part of national president of the Actors Guild, part of his presentation. I actually found myself out of the program, and I lost a lot. I hope you can hear me. I hope you can hear me.
Oh yes,
Good.
I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So I listened to him, and I'm quite happy with a couple of the comments he made. Even though I will say that knowingly or unknowingly, we have, to a large extent, an industry like Nollywood also been involved in film tourism. I'll give you fantastic examples. If you observe at the early point of the Nollywood industry in the early 90s, when you watch any film you see from Nollywood, you see the National Arts Theatre depicting Lagos. Today, what you see is the Ikoyi Bridge linking into Lekki that depicts Lagos. What it means in essence is that we are also in a way selling those tourist attractions. And I'm happy Lord of the Rings came up in the two comments I had from Chidi and of course from Emeka Rolas. It's a fantastic example of how within a year, between 2013 and 2014, from $7 million in New Zealand economy, moved to 3.3 billion just because of that film and that trilogy that came to New Zealand. And there are several examples. Of course, Isaac mentioned the Braveheart, I think Chidi mentioned it, several examples. And for me, I think what we should be looking at now, how do we create that strategic partnership? One of the basic problems I still see as regards the tourism landscape in Nigeria is the issue of infrastructure. Yes, we have the tourism sites, we have beautiful sceneries. You come to Cross River State here, from the Kwa Falls to the Obudu Ranch, you go to every part of Nigeria has something to offer. I actually put some pictures recently on my Facebook page of some particular tourist sites in Nigeria, and people were asking, is it in Nigeria? You get the point? But the challenge is, how do you get there? the whole network. That's why I said one of the first things we must consider as we want to begin to develop this sector and want to do this partnership between Nollywood and the tourism industry, that the government too must also begin to understand that infrastructure is key. And I'll tell you why. Why, if you use the Lord of the Rings as an example, why it succeeded was that because after the film, people came back there. The other examples, like when Four Weddings and a Funeral was shot in London, the King Cross station, people went to that station. So the point is that you must create the enabling environment for tourism to thrive. To a large extent, I sympathize with all the former DGs of the NTDC because they are poorly funded. One of the first things you do to even sell your domestic tourism is like your program, Goge Africa. You've traveled around the world. What kind of fundings do you get to sell Nigerian domestic tourism? Because one, it is not even the locals, that's Nollywood alone that can develop this tourism environment. Because when you gave the example of New Zealand was not a New Zealand film, an Hollywood film that came from the US. So we should begin to think of how do we develop the industry? And so the beauty is that the Nollywood will benefit if a big Hollywood film comes to Cross-River State today to film, the locals will be in the film. A good example was Half a Yellow Sun. To a film in Calabar, 70% of the cast, the major cast, were locals, even the crew members. I had an audition last week, and when I was asking them, what have you done? Most of them were mentioning Half a Yellow Sun. I was there, I played an extra, I played a minor role, I was in the crew. You get the point? So the point I'm making is that when we talk about domestic tourism and building our domestic, it goes not just Nollywood. A fantastic example is what happened in the second part of the wedding party by Mo Abudu. Dubai Tourism funded part of that film. My network is bad. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you.
Thank you. So Dubai Tourism funded that film to a large extent. At least close to about 40% of the funding came from the Dubai tourism industry. So what was the idea? To develop the local industry, that's domestic tourism in Dubai. Why? One of the biggest commercial business people go to Dubai are Nigerians. So let's fund this film called Wedding Party, Nigerian film. Nigerians will watch this film, and more of them will come to our country. So when we look at we should begin to think beyond Nollywood, but it will also benefit the Nollywood industry. That's my point. So there are basic things I will want to begin to canvas for. Infrastructure. Look at the network today. You find it difficult to even connect. These are basic things that should be in place when you want to develop tourism industry. You are selling an image. The roads. How do I get to Morocco? How do I get to the Oguni? These are important things that will be there, which will also help the industry as us filmmakers to even go and film there. Then I come to the number one that everyone's asking: funding. You see, for me, I keep telling people that funding is the easiest thing if you have a good product. So now, what are the things we expect? We expect basic things. It might not be financial cash if you make it very easy. I was talking to somebody 2 days ago. I said, look, one of the most difficult places to film in Nigeria is the airport. And that's the first point of our tourism that we're telling the whole world. That's the first point. I went to Lagos after some months, and I drove from the airport, National Airport, and I saw the massive infrastructure work done on that road. It's 5 or 6 lanes. Fantastic. You're coming out from our airport and you are getting on that major 6 lane from the airport. It gives you a better image of Nigeria. Those are the kind of things I'm talking about. So I'm coming back to the picture of the airport. Why is it so difficult to film at the airport? This is where there must be a strategic partnership between the industry now, the NTDC, and I think I saw the former DG here on the platform here. The NTDC, that's government, the film industry, that's Nollywood. We must sit down and begin to see the only way you can attract interest is one, you must make infrastructure and those things we need to work with as accessible as possible. Funding, yes, will come. Even if you give me all the funding and I don't have access to use these facilities, it does not work. Another important point I wanted to make before I round up, but I know there will be questions, and to also, and because Emeka has said almost everything, is that I also differ to a large extent with the last one of the point Emeka made as regards the kind of films we are making. The quality of Nigerian film has improved. We must be honest with ourselves. The era of rituals in our film was about 10, 15 years ago. We will only be unfair to ourselves. Because when you look at them, yes, people are still making such films, but it's not like it was in 10, 15 years ago. The kind of films you see today are more holistic, they are more contemporary, they tell more of our stories. They even sell our tourist sites without them knowing. Because when you go film on the beautiful hanging bridge at Lekki, you're selling that particular part of Nigeria because Nigerians who have not been home for a long time begin to ask, where's that place? Because Nigeria is fine now. These are the kind of things we do. For me, I think we should begin to forget that narrative of we make ritual films. What we should begin to look at, how do we begin to create that partnership? Not just myself on my own, but I feel the bridge is beautiful, I go to film there. There should be an arrangement, like Chidi said earlier, between me and say, look, Chidi Mokeme will be filming on the hanging bridge in Lekki. Lagos State government, what kind of support can you give? Because Chidi Mokeme, the superstar actor, will be on that bridge. And of course, it will be planned. The kind of filming there will be done in a way that you are selling that bridge, you are telling the whole world that you have this beautiful bridge. Now, if you look at London Bridge, when you watch films, when the film is done on London Bridge, it creates a lasting image. That's what our film images. The images will be in your mind for as long as you live. All the things we've mentioned, Braveheart, Lord of the Rings, all of them, when you remember those places that those films were shot, you want to go back there to experience that. Then, finally, it also helps the local economy, beyond Nollywood, and even selling our tourist side. The local economy, when you film in a place like the Kwa Falls, the locals there, even the woman that sells pure water, at that point that film is going on, it attracts more people to that location. Even after the film has been done and it's out, more tourists will come there. The local economy will boom. That's why when you see countries funding or giving grants to films, like in example you mentioned, Lord of the Rings, the New Zealand government gave the Hollywood company that made the film 25% grant, assuming their budget was $1 million, assuming $250,000 was given to them to support the film. Because everybody wants to go back to that particular area. So these are the points I think we should begin to look at. We should look at it beyond just Nollywood. How do we also attract people in? And the only way we can attract people to come in there, even Nollywood, is in good roads, power. Those are the things that have hindered tourism in Nigeria. That's the fact. Infrastructure. What is the road network to a place you are going to film or you want to visit? What is the network? I remember a friend of mine came from China and went to the Kwa Falls. Mr. Moses and Mrs. Moses, you've gone there before, so you know. They got in there and there was no network. His people did not know he went there. He told me he was going there, but because of fear of security, he didn't want them to know. He said I should not tell them. And he went in there, and when he got in there, there was no network. So he was there for 2 days until he came out. So these are things we should look at. I think we should begin to look at how do we improve our infrastructure to aid tourism in Nigeria. That way, it will make it very easy for Nollywood to even contribute to that sector. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Fidelis.
Thank you.
Yes, I recall what this gentleman, Dr. Alex Muba, he said we can invest in airstrips. He talked about the ease of accessing an aircraft. He said with about 5 million to 50 million naira, you could actually own an aircraft. So you don't have to go through the bad roads or the traffic situation within the country. However, something lingers. Why I have never seen Aso Rock filmed in any of Nigerian movies. I know that in the White House in the US, they conduct tours there. They conduct tours, you know, in even the Buckingham Palace. So why can't we? What is the problem? Even shooting at the Nigerian airport is also a tall order. How come nobody has ever made effort to shoot at Aso Rock? This part of our tourism asset. You know, Fidelis.
I'll respond to that.
Isaac,
I'll
sir.
respond to that quickly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Isaac.
Yes, I can hear you.
Just imagine some weeks back before the pandemic, we had young children from different states in the US come to the UN headquarters just to see how the UN looks like. I have pictures of that on my phone, which I can send to Goge Africa. A young little boy, he held me and called me Obama because I was on a suit, and he said I looked like Obama, and he came to hug me.
Wow.
Apparently, this guy might be an immigrant from one of these Ukraine countries, but he was so excited to be in the United Nations headquarters. We did a tour for them, even to where we have meetings with the UN. You know, so he was like, "Are you with the UN?" I said, "Yes, we're ambassadors with the UN." He was so excited. Now, when he asked me, "Where are you from?" I said, "I'm in Nigeria." Everyone was shocked. The Nigerian taking people to the UN building, but there are procedures for these things to be done. The country accepts people. If you want to shoot a movie, they're allowed to take pictures. There was no restriction. They only tell us that if you are going to bring in people, we have prior instructions before that day. So I think Nigerian government need to look at these things too, because the White House also has access for you to shoot movies.
Yes.
As far as you don't do anything to damage America or whatever, we don't have issues with that. So we need to look at that.
Okay.
Let me just respond quickly.
Okay, can we hold that thought there?
Okay.
We're running out of time already.
Okay. Okay.
We're going to go back to Nollywood because we are home. The Tanzanian Investment Center, our timing and theirs is not quite the same. So His Excellency is here with us in Abuja, but let's hear from His Excellency. I think he wants to also introduce the people from Tanzania. Your Excellency, sir.
Mr. Benson Banner.
Yes, please. Let me start by appreciating this rare opportunity to enable us talk about investment opportunities in Tanzania and the incentives associated to those investors. I must first and foremost take this opportunity to thank Goge, particularly NECA Isaac Moses, who have created an opportunity for us to market my country, the beautiful land of Kilimanjaro. To take this opportunity for the initial discussions pioneered by Emeka, Fidelis, Chike Mokene, and the team for a job well done. I thank you very much, especially for exposing to us the contribution which the film industry can make in terms of promoting domestic and international tourism. As well as I must appreciate the participation of my colleague from Dar es Salaam, Diana, who has made her time available to share with us ideas related to investment promotion in Tanzania, including the incentives that are associated with those investments. Now, as you all know, missions, diplomatic missions all over the world have a mission to accomplish. Now, the Tanzanian mission in Nigeria, including the 15 countries of our representation, we have a mission, and a noble mission to enable our country achieve the objectives of its strategy, which is economic diplomacy. And by economic diplomacy, I mean opening the gates that will enable Tanzanian businessmen to explore opportunities, marketing opportunities, trade opportunities, tourism opportunities that are available in the western part of Africa, as well as promoting the cultural pattern that define us as Africans within the realm of African or Pan-Africanism. So I welcome this opportunity to say a little bit about Tanzania. We are here to open up Tanzania for the West African countries, especially Nigeria. We recognize the role and the position of Nigeria in the West African economy. In fact, sometimes I refer Nigeria to as a superpower for this region, and actually an economic superpower for Africa, given the current statistics that we have. And for us, we want to make sure that Tanzanian products find a market in West Africa, particularly Nigeria. We want to ensure that tourists from Nigeria and really West African countries make Tanzania their tourist destination, taking into account that Tanzania is a home of the highest mountain in Africa, Kilimanjaro. People would like to explore what is Kilimanjaro all about, to conquer Kilimanjaro by climbing the 5,895 meters of that highest freestanding mountain in the world and the highest mountain in Africa. Again, Tanzania is the home of the 7th World Heritage Site, the Ngorongoro Crater. We would like to invite Nigerians to go and explore the beauties of the Ngorongoro Crater. Tanzania is also home of the longest freshwater and second deepest lake in Africa, Lake Tanganyika. Number 3, Tanzania is home of the second largest freshwater lake in the world, and that is Lake Victoria. And Tanzania is also home for the 6th tallest tree in the world. If you want to see the 6th tallest tree in the world, you go to Tanzania. And a lot of flora and fauna. Now, tourism is the most important foreign exchange earner for my country. And we are open up to all tourists from all over the world, but particularly, as far as I'm concerned, the West African region. So that's why I appreciate the work that Goge is doing in terms of promoting tourism, not only in tourism in Nigeria, but also tourism sites in Eastern Africa, particularly the United Republic of Tanzania. So without much ado, I may wish to welcome my colleague Diana from Tanzania Investment Center to talk a lot about the fiscal incentives and the non-fiscal incentives that Tanzania offer to the investors, as well as the 12+ investment opportunities that are available in Tanzania for people who would like to invest in Tanzania. And why do we invest in Tanzania? Tanzania is the safest country, I can say, in Africa. Tanzania is the most democratic country in Africa. Tanzania is a peaceful country. Tanzania abides and adheres to all pillars of good governance that we know today. And we cherish the value of peace, the value of unity, which defines us as Africans. So whenever you have your capital, idle capital, you want to find an area of investment, Tanzania should be your destination. But we have the experts, the person who knows it well. Madam Chair, I welcome you to welcome Diana to make a contribution from Ladislaus.
Thank you so much, sir. I don't think anybody can sell Tanzania better than you. But we'll let Diana come on for like 5 minutes, speak with us. And I would like her to also leave like a PowerPoint presentation or a presentation we can share with everybody here and also put online on our YouTube channel and all our social media for others to see. Because Tanzania cannot be sold just to the people here today, but for more people. It's a great country, and we all know that. So Diana, you have about 5 minutes on the floor to give us more like a summary of what you have to say about Tanzania. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. It's a real pleasure having you amongst us today.
Yes, thank you for this opportunity. Good evening, Your Excellency, and good evening, Chair Lady, Ms. Aneka, and to everyone on this platform. My name is Diana. Sorry, I can't keep on my video. My network is a bit not quite good, so I think I better leave the video off right now so you can hear me well.
Okay.
My name is Diana. My name is Diana Ladislaus Momanga, and I'm from the Tanzania Investment Center. My role is I'm in the promotion department. Specifically, I act as the investment promotion officer. So I'm here today to just briefly take you through about our the opportunities to invest in Tanzania and our investment climate and incentives in brief. I understand that today we're mainly focusing on tourism, so I won't go in detail to the other opportunities. But our Excellency has already briefly explained some of the tourist attractions, so I will also not go deep into that. But just for a few key facts about tourism in Tanzania. In a nutshell, we have over 16 national parks, over 31 game reserves, and over 44 controlled areas and 4 Ramsar or wetland sites, over 33 wildlife management areas, and over 6 nature reserves. And basically in tourism, we have a number of opportunities to invest in. Apart from tourist hotels, of which currently right now we are emphasizing investment to about 4 to 5 star rated hotels in Zanzibar and also the mainland Tanzania. But also there is a opportunity for leisure parks, for tourist operation activities, not only for the ground tourism, taking tourists around, but also for the area view of tour guides. But also when it comes to the incentives, Tanzania Investment Center, we provide 2 main categories of incentives. We provide the fiscal incentives and the non-fiscal incentives. Now, for the fiscal incentives, these are tax and import duty related kind of incentives. This includes, for example, for the project capital goods. Now, for project capital goods, you can get exemption for about import duty. It's 0 for that. You don't pay any import duty for project capital goods. And for the deemed capital goods, this includes items like building materials, equipments, and utility vehicles. For such items, you get 75% off on your import duty charge. But also VAT is payable in Tanzania. However, if you have imported your project capital goods, and if the charge for the VAT is about 10 million Tanzanian shillings and above, then you won't have to pay the VAT on spot. You can pay it later once you start generating revenues within your investment, then it can be deducted by installment. And then, of course, corporate tax in Tanzania is 30%, and the VAT is 18%. But then we also have the non-fiscal incentives, which is their general incentives, things to deal with land issues, whereby we facilitate investors to obtain land for investment in Tanzania. And basically, TAC act as a guarantor for the investors to the Ministry of Land, whereby we make the application to the Ministry of Land for the investor to obtain the derivative rights. A derivative right is basically a right which enables a foreigner to legally own land for investment in the country, right? So that is also one of our major roles. But then also we have the one-stop shop. Now the one-stop shop basically means that we have a number of institutions and agencies all under one roof. For example, to mention a few, we have the Labor Department for the work permits. We have the Immigration Department for the residence permits. We have the Tanzania Revenue Authority for the tax issues to facilitate the investors. But we also have the Tanzania Bureau of Standards and also the Tanzanian Medicine and the Medicine and Medical Devices Authority, as well as the National Environment Management Council for the Environmental Impact Assessment Certificate, and so much more, including the Ministry of Land for land issues. So all those services, yes, so all those services, yes, so all those services, yeah, hello. So all those services, you get to enjoy them all under one roof the main purpose of doing this is to enable our investors to get all their assistance under one roof, rather than them having to trouble moving from one place to another. Because these senior officers are representing their institution within TAC to make it easier for investors to not have the trouble to move from each of these institutions independently, but then they get to have an efficient way of getting all the required information under one roof. Yes. But then apart from that, we also provide guidelines and advice to investors to ensure them and take them through the requirements so that they can know what exactly they are required to do. Yes. So to make them aware and provide them guidelines to know precisely what they are required to do, or what is required of them to undertake when it comes to certifications and licenses and registrations. So we are like the first stop, or we encourage them whenever an investor wants to come and invest in Tanzania, be it local or foreign investor, to first come to TAC to get all the right information, steps, and guidelines on what they are required to do, so as when going about their investment, they are doing the right thing without missing a step. Now, registering with TAC is not compulsory, it's optional, although we highly encourage investors to register with TAC, because apart from enjoying our incentives, you also will be within our database, which means we will be aware about you and your investment, which means you will be safe. Whereby if anything happens and you need our assistance, it will be easier for us to facilitate you, because you are within our database and we are aware about your investment and everything you're doing. Rather than if you just walk in, it will be difficult for us because we don't know any details about you. Okay, so we'll do the best we can, but if we are asked a lot of questions about you, we won't have the answers to answer, because we don't know anything until the day that you came to report that issue. Right. So in a nutshell, so for those who want to register with TAC, we only have one qualification. For a foreign investor, the requirement is that the value of your investment should not be less than 500,000, not initially for the whole project, so as to qualify to be registered by TAC. And for a local investor, it's 100,000. Again, this is the value of investment, not capital. The value of investment, taking into account the land if you purchase for the investment, the building, machineries, vehicles, all tangible assets per se, all tangible assets. And also, furniture, computer, anything tangible assets, it is considered within the value of investment. Oh, sorry, someone asked what 500,000 for. The 500,000 is the value of investment. Again, it's the value of investment, not capital required. This one is the qualification to register TAC. It is not the amount that you give to TAC. No, it's just the qualification whereby the value of your investment should not be less than 500,000 for you to qualify to be under TAC for an investor. But it does not mean that for an investor who does not qualify that cannot invest in Tanzania. You can continue the investment in Tanzania, but only if you want to enjoy the incentives and be registered by TAC. It is only then when the requirement is such.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, I think we are losing you there. But what you need to do for us is to send us proper documentation that we can circulate, and perhaps also help with online sharing more information online, so that would assimilate all the information. Already I'm feeling like coming to Tanzania, and I'm sure my Nollywood people here. Lillian, what's your take? Hello, Lillian.
Hello. Very interesting presentations. I'm excited. I want to come to Tanzania, and I'm going to be speaking to you, Nneka and Isaac, to organize a tour to Tanzania so that I can see this beautiful country they just talked about.
Aside from Tanzania, you need to also visit Zanzibar in Tanzania. Beautiful place to be.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great. I'm looking forward.
Yes, so Miss
thank you,
Emeka, I will...
Diana?
Yes, I was just replying to you that I will share with you, I will share with Edna from our embassy all the details for you to share with everyone in this platform to have more information as well as my contact details so that if anyone has a question, I'll be more than happy to answer and facilitate and offer the assistance.
Thank you very, very much, Diana, and thank you, Your Excellency, the Ambassador of Tanzania to Nigeria. It's been very insightful, and we all look forward to a trip to Tanzania to see for ourselves. Now we're quickly going to go back to Fidelis Duka, because Fidelis was about to answer a question when Neka moved the conversation. So let's quickly round up that bit, Fidelis, so that we can go on to other things.
Yes, thank you, Lillian. Listening to the Tanzanian presentation was quite incisive and informative too. My only comment was based on the question asked by Isaac, where he said, why can't we film at the villa, the airport, and all that, and then of course before the intervention? I think one of the, which we must realize that even though it's 20 years since democracy, we still have some tendency of the military era where some parts of the country are considered or classified as security risk areas you can't get into. I recall that some years back when the US, myself, and we stood in front of the Capitol Hall conveniently one night, and we were there. Nothing happened to us. You get the point. So I think it's a lot of work to be done too. It also involves, I keep mentioning the NTDC. I said it's very key that even some legislations, because even for tourism to thrive, domestic tourism to thrive, there are still some legislation that has to go into work. We have to work on them. Because you must make places as possible. If the airport is waiting for coming there, there is a security risk coming to shoot at the airport. So that is the basic issue. Why you can't even stand 1,000 meters away from the villa to film, to even take a picture. It's as bad as that. And I understand the pain of filmmakers. And you want to sell Nigeria. That's a massive and fantastic structure. The villa, the Aso Villa, is something you want to sell to the whole world. But you don't have them in films because they will tell you it's security risk. And I wonder what the risk is. So the earlier we also begin to look at beyond just the talk shop, we must also see how we can relax some of these laws because we are still operating within the ambit of the laws of the military era. The fact that we've come in since 1999.
Okay, Fidelis, we hear you loud and clear. Fidelis, yes, we hear you loud and clear. That's why we've started these conversations, and it will be ongoing. And I think one of the offshoots or results of this will be coming together and helping to push some information and document to our lawmakers. If we don't fight for our industry, nobody will do that for us. So the moment we continue to remain docile, everything we want to happen will remain docile. So just for us to move on ahead with timing, I see Babatunde Abidemi's hand up. We also have a question from Michael Balogun. Michael, I think Michael and Uche, who are those two people that have got other questions to ask? Can you call them up? Let's take some questions and go on. If I see you, Tanzania is a beautiful country, yes. Hello, Uche. Michael Balogu, are you still there?
Yes, and Helen. Yes, please.
So can we have them ask their questions quickly? If it's something that can be tackled immediately, we go ahead. If not, we respond via email. Okay, if Uche, if they are not ready, we can quickly.
Oh, hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, this is Michael Balogun.
Okay.
Hi, Michael.
Welcome, Michael.
Is that Michael Balogun? Are you there?
Yes, this is Michael Balogun.
Okay, please.
My question is to the Nollywood big wigs in the conference. How are you going to partner with the local tour operators when you're creating your movies, that we can be part of your plan? That when after the shooting, we can be the ones to even promote using those destinations to sell your movie while we are selling a package together. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Who would like to take that? We have 4 of them already. We have Lillian, we have Chidi, we have the Actors Guild President, we have Fidelis Duka. So who is this
Madu
person?
Chikwendu is in the house too.
Thank you, Mr. Balogun.
Madu Chikwendu is here.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so Mr. Michael, who would you like to answer your question? Who are you directing that to?
I would like the Mr. Chidemoke.
Could you answer the question, please?
Oh yeah, Mr. Michael. Thank you for that question. I would like to say this is one of the reasons why this conference is very aptly tagged cross-sectoral collaboration. You know, because one of the things that is happening here is for stakeholders and investors playing in different segments of the country, of the economy, to start to see opportunities in places where they didn't see them before. For tour operators, I think that one of the markets that they have overlooked is Nollywood. Tour operators have been very busy trying to capture the interest of mainly tourists, quote and unquote. Whereas Nollywood practitioners offer and deliver the same services that are being expected from the tourists. As a movie producer or as a filmmaker, you are moving from location to location. You're carrying people along with you who need transportation, who need accommodation, who need feeding, you know, who need all of the same things that tourists sort of require. So it's an opportunity for tour operators in themselves, one, to find a way now in this collaboration to be able to lay out their proposals to film people. We already know that film people go everywhere around the world. Same thing that tourists do. Film people require the use of locations, the use of hotels, the use of restaurants, and all sorts. So tour people who have all of these things in their portfolio can begin to package them and target them for direct marketing to Nollywood practitioners. So it's an opportunity, if you ask me, for tour operators. In the same vein, tour operators who have specific destinations under them that they are directly in control of can begin to explore avenues of location placement in movies. So that way, same way, you can collaborate with movie producers and offset some of the bills or some of the expenses for making a movie. Offset the bills and expenses for accommodation and location spend. And that's a collaboration right there. And it's a win-win for everybody.
Thank you, Chidi. Thank you, Chidi. We see a lot of hands up, but we can't take questions anymore because of timing. And I think His Imperial Majesty has joined us. So I'm trying to locate him so we can announce his arrival. Okay. While we are on to that, yes. Okay. So while we're on to that, we will take more analysis. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So
my
yes.
question now.
Okay. Helen, your question, please.
Okay. Yeah, quickly. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really glad to be here, and then I'm also glad for this initiative for collaboration that Africa has initiated. My question is very simple. Now, when you talk in terms of tourism, I've been listening to everyone, speak. I've listened to the Asian president, and I've also listened to the President Duka, and I've seen all the challenges and all that. And I've also I've also listened to people making references about countries where tourism has really done a lot for their economy. In terms of, okay, let me give an example of Hollywood, for instance. Now, they have, when you travel to America, for instance, you want to go to different studios where different movies and stuff were shot. And this is an added, advantage to the economy, in that's for the tourism industry. Now, the question is, do we have anything like that in Nigeria, where a place where movies can be shot, a big studio, in terms of this, I'm glad that there are a whole lot of people here that are willing to collaborate with the Nollywood industry. Now, this will definitely come from maybe the government giving space for them to build all these things. Now, is there a plan for it? Does it exist already? Now, if it doesn't exist already, is it something that we're thinking about, so that, the tourism industry can equally be boosted again through this, because when you go to, you visit, you talked about Harry Potter, you talked about different movies that are being shot and that are generating income for the tourism industry. So that's my question, really. Thank you.
So who is your question directed to, Helen?
It's a lengthy one.
It's quite lengthy. So who exactly do you want to answer? All right. Do I say
maybe you should ask Madu Chikwendu to address that question, because it's
Madu, please, are you here? Yes,
Madu
Chikwendu. Mr. Madu Chikwendu. Hello.
Hello, Madu.
Okay. What will do? What will
He's still on. He's still on.
He can't hear us.
I don't know.
Hello,
He's muted.
Unmute yourself, Madu. Madu, could you unmute yourself? All right. Well, I mean, we have a lot of Nollywood people I see in the house. Is anybody willing to take on the question?
Okay, Chidi is
I think
there.
he's talking about.
Yeah.
Hello.
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 Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay. Whilst we're waiting for Madu, I don't know if anybody else is taking that. But I can make an input.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Because I think she was trying to shed some light now. Once we're talking about film tourism, what she has just done is help us break it into two aspects of film tourism, which is on location and off location. So we have been talking about on location, which is the ability to sell destinations that are physical destinations you see in a movie, and then you want to go and look at them and see how beautiful they are. Then she is talking about off location, in which case studios have built gigantic structures where they do shoot their series or TV production of movies in the studio and then preserve the shooting sets for visitors to come and see, which is much like the thing that the Universal Studios and Disney and all of those people do. They shoot, they make a series or they make a movie, then they preserve the set and use it as a residual source of income. When visitors come around and they want to see, oh, where did he shoot that movie? You say, oh, it's in Studio Block C4. Then you take a ride there, you pay some money, and you check out the studio. So it's also room for collaboration. Government can come in. Incentives will make it easy for people to build such gigantic structures where you can have movie sets that do not need to be dismantled, because this is not money that is going to be tied down. So that's why we need those collaborations. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, beautiful.
Okay, thank you, Chidi. I just noticed some questions. Somebody said, what is the role of education especially the universities in this collaborative initiative? That's a good question. Uche, if you're there, I know you have a couple of more questions that could open here. Okay,
even if it means highlighting.
Yes, I'm here. I can hear you.
Just hold on, Uche. At this point, I'd like everybody to unmute themselves because we are going to, Goge Africa is a cultural institution. You can ask Wikipedia. Now, if we have a traditional ruler in the house, according to Yoruba history, mythology, allow me to mix it up. He is next to God. That's our culture. So I'm talking about
His Royal Majesty.
Right now we have His Imperial Majesty with us.
Oh, I have your number. I have your number. Yeah, I don't give my number.
His Imperial Majesty.
I have your number. Let me call you.
So if I want to call now,
long and fruitful
in the house. Could we have him on screen, please? Kábíyèsí.
Kádé pẹ́ lórí kí bàtà pẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀ ìgbà ọdún
Kábíyèsí o.
Kábíyèsí o.
Inú kẹrẹ kó pẹ́ lọ́wọ́ o, kábíyèsí.
Kẹ̀lẹ́ kó pẹ́ lọ́wọ́ o.
Iṣẹ́ káàbọ̀.
Kábíyèsí.
Orí ìdọ̀bálẹ̀ ni gbogbo wa wà o, àtobìnrin àtọkùnrin, ìdọ̀bálẹ̀ la wà. Yes, Mecca, you're doing a good job. And Isaac too.
I see my boys in the industry. I see all of you. I see oh my God.
I suspect everyone. He's in the house too.
He's here, sir. So
can you say hello to us?
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
He's the owner of La Campagne Tropicana.
My name is Thomasin Olawale. I'm the SPA to the Oni of Ife. I just wanted to inform you that he'll be joining us in the next 10 minutes. Unfortunately, he has other engagements, so he'll only be here for 5 minutes. So please bear in mind, he'll be here in the next 10 minutes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
you.
He actually logged in with his, so we assumed he's already with us. But then the transfer is very necessary because
he'll turn on, when he sits down, he'll turn on his video so you can see him.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so are we missing anything in terms of question and answer?
Okay, I'd like to also remind us that Sterling Bank is in the house and they're still going to shed light on the 5 billion Naira domestic tourism fund. So please note that, be aware, be informed that they're still going to come on to shed light on that. Okay, so we can take the questions that are lined up.
Okay. Are we taking questions now? Mona Lisa Chinda, you're here. Can you say hello to us? She's the PRO for Actors Guild of Nigeria. I see you, Mona.
Hello. Hi, Mona Lisa.
Put your video. Let's see your pretty face. Unmute yourself, Mona. I see you. I see Mr. Alexander Umba. He is the one that talked to us about using what do you call the small planes
5 million Naira to between 5 and 50 million. to acquire an aircraft. Yeah.
Sir Alexander, hello.
Say hello.
Hello, I'm keeping quiet and paying attention and listening today. Hello, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Well, he's the president of Private Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association of Nigeria. He was on last week.
Hi.
Hello, Mona.
Hello, Mona Lisa.
Hello, everyone. So good to see you.
But we can't see you.
Hi, Mona. See your face now.
Yes, because I have people at the office and we're all working together. Hello. Chidi, hi. I'm seeing everybody. Good job, Neka. Good job, Isaac. Good job, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
The house. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm still asking. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I just want to link, I mean, if there's nothing out there on the table, something Fidelis was saying about infrastructure, you know, and what Isaac was saying about inability to shoot in certain locations. Let me tie it to what the representative from Tanzania was saying then about government's role in this collaboration, you know. I've been opportune to see a document called An Overview of Investment Climate and Opportunities in Tanzania. It's a 42-page document presented by Madam Diana, you know. And if you go through that document, you begin to wonder why Nigeria as a government does not have such strategic communication solely for tourism investment purposes. You know, because if you're bringing people, like Fidelis said, and you want to market a destination to them, but there's no way to get to that destination, then nobody's going to go there. So government and the people and practitioners and stakeholders have a lot of unlearning to do. We have to learn new things. If the White House, as domineering in the global space as it is, can also be used as a tool for tourism, why will Aso Rock not be a tool for tourism? Why can I not take a picture standing 1,000 feet away from the seat of government? So until we begin to recognize that we need a shift away from the mono-economic nature of our country. Tanzania has just told us that one of their major foreign exchange earners is tourism. So if you don't recognize the potential, then you will not put the policies in place to help you reap from that sector. Until we begin to recognize that tourism can give to Nigeria so much more than oil is giving to Nigeria, then we will not reap. You see how His Excellency was able to market the destinations in Tanzania. It requires a change in thinking. He did not market Kilimanjaro only as...
Can we hear from Ms. Somoto? I've seen her, she's been there for a while. She was former DG of NTDC. I think we need to hear from those who have been in government. I think...
Yes, please. You just took it right out of my mouth.
Salient points have been made, and I thank everybody on this platform. Let me quickly talk about tourism infrastructure. That is pertinent to tourism growth. If we don't attend to the issue of tourism infrastructure, we are not going anywhere when it comes to tourism. And I'm glad to let you know that I was at the ministerial press briefing on the budget a few months ago in Abuja, where I work. I was invited, like some other private participants, and all the heads of government were there. And when I looked at the budget, tourism and culture had the least out of all other sectors. I couldn't just sit, I had to raise up my hand and happen to be the first person to talk when they opened the floor. And I told the ministers, we're going nowhere. If you have not funded tourism, nobody is ready to start thinking out of the spot. Way back when I was putting tourism 20 years ago, we didn't have enough money for tourism. But I didn't want to fold my hands. I went to the private sector and they were able to fund my tourism project. from January to December for 4 years. But not everybody will do that. So I told them that the private sector, they are tired of funding government projects. My own friends in the private sector supported me then because they didn't want me to fail. And I done my homework. So with my homework, they supported us. But 20 years ago, the situation should be different now. They must fund tourism. So I told them, tourism infrastructure, very key. We're talking of accessible roads, we're talking of amenities, we're talking of transportation, and then funding the sector itself. But I don't give excuse to any PG that says because they are not well funded, they are not going to perform. I don't give such excuses. They should be able to think out of the box. They should also go to the private sector that assisted us when we were there. A lot of things were being heard of in terms of tourism. When we were there, we partnered with Wanle, and glad Wanle is in the house, like a Pine Tropicana. God did it so well. That was the very first time a Black African would win the most prestigious beauty pageant in the world, Miss World. I said I'll be a failure to say without government's money, without being funded, I wasn't going to do anything. I saw a reason to use Agbani Darego as our tourism icon to promote tourism all over the world. And so the private sector were ready to support me. We went to La Campagne. La Campagne gave us the facility for good 1 week, free. And you wouldn't believe the dovetailing effect that we got from there. Because of Wanle being so committed to tourism, he hosted us. We took the governor to La Campagne and his wife. Because I wouldn't take no for an answer. I made sure I worked closely with state governors. Donald Duke was there ready for us in Cross River. Muazu was there ready for me in Bauchi. Bola Tinubu was ready in Lagos. So we went to La Campagne and we were there for a week. We took pictures, we did documentary on the beautiful landscape of La Campagne. Agbani was more than elated. Agbani told me, Auntie Tayo, do you know what I'm going to do with this? I said, what? He says, when I go back to England, I'm going to talk to all other beauty queens representing their nations all over the world, that the most beautiful place in the world is Nigeria. Believe you me, they came.
Wow.
They came, about 110 beauty queens. They came with a banner. So what are we talking about? The government will not do, except we have chief executives that will not take no for an answer. You have to fight for them to be able to see what you're doing. Private sector will not go to Asorok. He's the chief executive for tourism, our minister for tourism, that must convince the president that for us to generate revenue, we must take it seriously. Very, very pertinent. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I mean, with people
Thank
like
you, Mr. Motosho.
That we all have at this time, I don't think we should look back. If we continue like this, the change will come, and I think the change starts with us and from us. Zach, what do you think?
And that's why, yes, that's why domestic tourism is on our front burner. I do know that with all the challenges of tourism in Nigeria, you have the infrastructural deficit and what have you. But one thing needs to be done. There must be concerted effort. As a matter of fact, we just came back from La Campagne Tropicana Beach Resort. It's a beautiful place to be. We came back just yesterday and still relishing all the fun and excitement we had there. So just to touch base with what Mrs. Amotosha said about La Campagne Tropicana, it's still happening. Now, like I was saying, there has to be concerted effort to sell a destination. Now, what is Nigeria known for? Nigeria has to be themed. It has to be a themed attempt at selling her. Nigeria is basically known for her cultural heritage. So if people want to come to Nigeria, what are they coming for? That's one thing we have to do as practitioners, as stakeholders. We must put Nigeria under a theme and sell her as a cultural heritage as cultural heritage tourism. That way, when people come here, they don't expect to see the same thing they're used to seeing all over the world and in all the advanced countries. What we have here stays with us, and it is there just for us to harness it and let the world know that we are ready to receive them. And both domestic and international arrivals will topple. So, and that's why today we have the role of culture in tourism promotion. That's why His Imperial Majesty is here to lend his voice to this. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if His Majesty is in the house.
He'll join us shortly. He'll join us shortly. But like everybody has expressed themselves very passionately. The truth is, we are not going to wait for the roads to be ready. And we are not going to wait for anything that is not ready now to be ready. What we are doing is we are plucking the low-hanging fruits. Isaac said just a minute ago that we were at La Campagne Tropicana. My boy in the industry also said that La Campagne hosted them some years back. The same La Campagne hosted us over the weekend. Why? We're trying to see a way forward for our industry. You can't wait for government to do it. We can't wait until we get a chief executive that's interested in tourism. Then it won't happen. I've invested 20 years in the industry. My boss have invested more than 40 years. So what are we talking about? Over the weekend, because Sterling Bank has given the industry a seed capital to work with, it's only 5 billion. It's a lot of money, but on the other hand, it's not a lot of money. So a committee was to speak with them and say, how do you want this to go? These are pain points. This is what we want. How can we work with you? Because the banks don't give you, it's not a grant.
No, it's not.
They seed capital to help us grow. For example, you're a tour operator, you need a bus, they can give you a soft loan, and so on and so forth. So at La Campagne, we came together, we brainstormed, and by next week, there will be a press release from Sterling Bank or from this platform, letting you know the way forward. The committee is the industry committee. It's an open committee. We are willing to work with everybody who is presently interested in domestic tourism. That's what we want to drive, and we're starting with the low-hanging fruits. We're not waiting for government. Government will join us. Nollywood, you're here. Did you wait for government? If you waited for government, you'll still be where you were 20 years ago. So you don't have the time to wait. This is a moving train, and every tourism or tourism practitioner or tourism entrepreneur is ready. Because before now, we'll be doing our tours. We'll continue to do it, but at this time, we are more together and we're focused.
Yes. We're not unaware. Oh, yes. We're not unaware of the challenges in the industry, but we're not going to wait. There are what Sir Joe Madu called the low-hanging fruits that needs to be plucked and get something going on immediately. And I'm glad that we have passionate stakeholders in the industry, and with them, I'm sure the sky will be the limit. And really, I'm quite impressed with what Sterling Bank is doing. That's why this initiative is going to keep going on until we get to El Dorado. So, and you see, just like I was saying, concerted effort must be made. We must. It's not by accident. All these countries like Dubai, the US, and Europe, other countries that are reaping bountifully from the dividend of tourism, it didn't happen by accident. It was deliberately planned with a projection, and that's what Nigeria must do. That's what we as tourism stakeholders must put our hands together and have a trajectory of what we want to achieve given a certain time period. And with the seed money Sterling Bank has put there, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people are going to at least come up with
at this
ways.
Point, let's talk about Zach.
Okay, His Majesty is in the house.
No. So I just noticed that we have another veteran in the house. in the person of
really?
Chief Odusowo, you're here with us, and you're also a veteran in the industry. Hello.
Chief.
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Welcome, Chief. God bless you. I sent the invitation to him just 5 minutes to the time, and he made it. Bless you, Chief, for coming. I thank him.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, what Goge Africa is doing is a brilliant initiative, and I'm glad also that they have been able to bring together stakeholders across diverse facets of tourism and related cultural sector. It is brilliant. The COVID-19 has brought in its wake opportunities which otherwise would have existed if not for this Zoom meeting. We are meeting with people that otherwise could have been impossible to meet them or difficult to meet with them. So I'm glad that the opportunity presented itself with diverse participants across many continents, across many regions. So brilliant day for us, therefore, is now to take forward some of the outcomes of these discussions, really. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. So it's all up to us.
Conversation back to Nollywood again. Do we have questions that needed to be cleared? Monica, you're a tour operator from Kenya. Okay, let's say hello to our tour operator from Kenya. Monica, hello.
Hello, everyone.
Monica.
Hi.
Monica Musungu.
Yes, madam.
Hello.
Okay.
Muzungu is the derogatory term for white people in Uganda, perhaps Tanzania and Kenya. Is that true?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
I see. You're welcome.
Yes. Thank you, sir. I'm a tour operator in Kenya, and I have a branch in Norway as well. I'm the director of Scenery Adventures Limited, and I just love the energy in the house.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right. I see Mr. Brian Searcy from Africa, USA. Yes, he was here last week. Mr. Brian.
Hello, Brian.
Could you lend your voice to what we're doing? Say hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone. It's just amazing to be part of these and to be listening to how everybody is working forward. And like you just talked about what Joe said, low-hanging fruit. Let's start with giving everybody the necessary skills so that we can all work together to be successful across the board. I'm just excited to be listening and to potentially be part of what you guys are all trying to do.
Thank you so much, Mr. Brian. Marianne, at this point, we just want some contribution from every other person here today because the conversation is for everyone. Hello, Marianne Onoha.
Okay, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Okay. Bella Maria Travels, one of the Nigerian talkative tourism women that want to promote Nigeria to the world at large, because talking about Tuguta Lake at the last Niger 7 Wonders we had, it was like something else, because when you go to Tuguta Lake, I was talking about, you won't believe this is Nigeria. We are not the worst crime nation in the world that everybody's tagged us Nigeria bad. When you hear about Nigeria, Nigeria is bad. No, we have everything at our beck and call. The only problem I know that is a very mighty problem is the mentality. We don't even believe that this country can give us anything. Like most of our youth, everybody's saying, my money is not in Nigeria, my money is not in, because I deal mostly with the youth. But believe me, by the time somebody go to develop Uguta Lake, it will generate an income that is massive, because I've seen most of my Italian friends, because I've lived in Italy for some time, I speak Italian. They come to Nigeria. There was time they came to Nigeria, it was 2017. They were more interested in going to the villages than the bigger hotels we have in the city. They were so interested in the local food. The fufu, this guy never stopped talking about fufu every day. Bella fufu, Bella this. I said, come back and tell you, if you don't call me. I was in Italy in January. They were all over talking about the Opera Nadim, that is the interior villages. They are good at meeting with the locals, you know? So that's what they want to see. They don't want to see us faking all these big hotels because they know that we pretend. But they know better because they enjoyed all this thing from day one. They have all the liberty at their beck and call. But this place, they understand our situation. So we need to represent ourselves the way we are, not adding more to it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We have to do
thank you so much. We should present ourselves the way we are. I see Jean Jerome. You have a contribution.
Hi everyone. Since the floor is open, I guess I can make a comment. Thank you.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Nick and Isaac, for doing this. I feel motivated by what Marianne just said. My name is Dr. Ezenwafo. I sit on the board of a tourism investment that's located deep in the heart of Anambra State. It's called Honeywell Hotel Resort. It has over 97 rooms, a lot of facilities. I'm proud to say that that institution has hosted NEC and Isaac at some point, and I guess they can comment to that. So I can say yes, person participating in this interaction, because what we had started doing without talking about it, I find Nick and Isaac bringing up the conversation right now. And it becomes a challenge for everybody to look in the same direction and work in the same direction. So it's very interesting to see that we can bring back ideas that we've acquired from other places, bring it back to our own place and develop it for other people to, you know, coming and appreciate what we have. So it's very interesting. It's very encouraging. I look forward to see more investors who can go ahead to do the kind of things we've done, and let's promote what we have. And I believe it's going to be good for our future generations. Thank you all.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Can we hear from two more people? Jerome, or who else do we have in the house? We have a lot of people in the house. Please, we just want to hear the divergent views so that it will be a more robust conversation. Let's not leave it to the floor, to the people on the high table, virtual high table. Okay, if you have ideas to share with us, the address is conference@gogeafrica.tv or info@gogeafrica.tv. Nena, you're still in the chat room. Kindly share information with them so they know how to reach us.
Noted, ma'am.
All right then. So if we don't have anyone else coming up with suggestions or ideas, I see you, Pelu. Pelu, you traveled around Nigeria, you've written books, you are a CNN award journalist. You must have something to contribute, Pelu.
Hey, Pelu.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so sorry I can't, so I can't put on my video, but I'll try and do it for a second or two if I can. It's really so wonderful to hear what everybody has had to say. To hear Chidi Mokeme, I never knew there would be a Nigerian actor so understanding of the dynamics of tourism. Also, the president of Actors Guild. I mean, I'm so impressed by what both of them have said. For such a long time, we've been wondering how to actually get the acting community involved in promoting domestic tourism. Well, you know, I'm a journalist, I'm an author, you know, I do what I need to do as a writer to promote Destination Nigeria. But I have not really worked with the Nollywood system. So I really couldn't find a way to gain access to the key players. So it's good to have this opportunity to listen to them, to see the interest that they have in promoting domestic tourism. One thing I'd like to drop here, this very moment, because I have the opportunity, since the Sterling Bank Goge Africa conversations have been going on, I've been daydreaming. This is just a carry on from what I've had in mind before. I look forward to a time where we can take a good number of the celebrity actors that we know, pick a handful of them, 12, maybe 15, maybe 10, and take them on a tour of some of these attractions in a few cities in the country. and do some sort of publicity campaign around it, which will include them also updating their followers on social media. Because everything we do should have a digital component to it, because we can reach so many more people using those platforms. They already have a followership. They already have the appeal, you know, among Nigerians, among Africans, and all of that. So we need to be able to use that. Besides what we can do with filmmaking, we need to take them away from the world of filmmaking into the real world of the attractions themselves. And let's do some sort of photo shoot, some publicity campaigns, some on the road trip. Let's take them on the road and let them be the ones to talk to their followers themselves. I really look forward to that happening. And I'll really be happy. I've done several road trips myself. It would be good to be embedded in that kind of campaign. And then we do a lot more together on that, almost like a reality program, but involving celebrities traveling, real life, real time, and then Nigerians are plugging into that kind of campaign. Thank you, Goge Africa, for hosting this. Thank you, Sterling Bank, for your interest in promoting and funding critical needs in the industry. I think we are just on the right track and the future is bright. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kwelu.
Well,
Thank you
that's
so much.
Thank you. That's a wonderful idea you just dropped there. And I'm sure lots of brands can actually ride on that, taking a handful of celebrities. Of course, we'll make it the 6th geopolitical zone, because with what you have just suggested, if you went to just 1 or 2 places within the Southeast or just within the Southwest, others are going to start clamoring for it. So if a thing like that, you know, would be broached, it has to be planned to go to that at least a destination in each of the 6 geopolitical zones. And honestly, I can't imagine what the impact would be. It's going to be awesome, you know. So,
Lilian and Chidi, what do you think?
I think it's a brilliant idea from Kwelu, and I know that with the power of the followership of some of our big stars, if that kind of tour actually takes place, touching the 6 geopolitical zones, and they flood their timelines with beautiful pictures and information about these places, I'm sure their followers would want to go to those places. And then the tour operators can cash in by organizing tours to those places.
Exactly. I know what the promotions that we put when we spotlight some of these touristic locations. I know how much interest it generates. So it's I mean, it's not a small thing. If this is done, and I'm sure Sterling Bank is there, this is an idea we can look into with Sterling Bank and other interested stakeholders and other corporate bodies. Yeah, MTN would also be interested in hearing that, you know. So, and it's just like I was saying earlier, we must make concerted effort to team Nigeria as a destination. People go to different parts of the world for different reasons. So we're asking ourselves, what are the reasons people should come to Nigeria for? So that way is sold along in the tourism calendars of the world. That if you go to Nigeria, you go for tourism and heritage, I mean for cultural heritage. And that's one thing we have in abundance. If we look at it, honestly, we're not in any way on a shortfall when it comes to this. We have more than enough. So, and if we don't make deliberate effort to sell these destinations, using these attractions as a theme to sell Nigeria, we would still be gallivanting. So that's just my humble opinion, you know, about how we can move Nigeria to a new tourism level, you know. While we await His Royal Majesty, GQ.
Yeah.
What do you think?
What do you think of the idea, and what other ideas can we generate from this forum now? As to
no, I think Mr. Kwelu is right on the money with that. You know, that's a collaboration right there. That simple idea involves all the stakeholders that we're talking about. Mr. Kwelu as a tourism writer who understands what's going on, the tour operators who own the sites that you need to go to, the transport operators who can move you to all of these venues, the communication operators who need to show us that everywhere you go, that they are there. You know, everybody can collaborate on this one simple idea that Mr. Kwenu brought. So he's right on the mark.
Exactly.
Okay, I have a question for the Fidelists and the Actors Guild president. I've heard a lot of people say that Nollywood produces movies on juju and this and that they do not produce movies that extol Nigeria, showcase our culture in a beautiful way and all of that. So I want to ask, how is this allegation true? If it's true, why? So who is ready to take this? And after that, I have Dabina Paul Abraham, who has something to say urgently.
Okay,
if you're ready with my answer, take it, you know, let's have it. If not,
let me respond then. Are you ready? Let me respond then quickly. It's a very short one.
Okay.
You know, I said earlier that it's quite a long narrative in the sense that, yes, in the past, we saw that happening. But of recent, the performances of Nigerian films you see today, to a large extent, do not even glorify those kind of films. That's a normal cliche now. Everybody says that. When you talk about Nollywood, the first thing that comes to your mind is to say, oh, they produce realistic films and all that. If you look at it, if you ask Chidi Mokeme, he's been sitting here, when was the last time he acted in a film like that? Even the actors are even, or Lillian, as an actress, there's a particular soap opera on TV now, it's new. You see, I think we should, like Isaac said earlier, we should begin to look at the positives. And what is key, I was very happy with the comment by Kwelu, our professor. Fantastic idea. One of the simplest hanging fruits that we can start with. That alone doesn't only sell the torrent sites, sells Nollywood as a brand. Because when you have a Chidi Mokeme somewhere in Obunike Hills or Lilian Ama somewhere in Bauchi, the image is there, is that, oh, she went to Bauchi, it's safe to go to Bauchi. You begin to have a mindset. How did she get there? Oh, she took a flight from Lagos to Abuja, Abuja to Bauchi, direct flight once a week or twice a week. So these are things we should look at. For me, the issue of whether we produce, people will still produce those films. People will still produce those films. But the issue is that, for me, I believe that the industry has gone past that era where people are more concerned about quality now than quantity. That's why you find that most producers like me, for the last 4 years, I don't make a film. Because the kind of budget I want to make a film with, I do not have it yet. I haven't amassed it. So why make a film for the sake of making a film? At the end of the day, such films that you mentioned do not go past the corner of their shops. So that's the point I'm making, that we should begin to look at the films that will sell Nigeria and all those kind of films. Okay. For Wedding Party Part 2 to be funded by the Dubai Tourism, it's about the quality of the film. Those are the kind of films you should be looking at. And when Bello mentioned, they're talking about actors, he's talking about the A-list actors who can sell this brand Nigeria. And that's what Mr. Motosho said. People must come out of their comfort zone. You don't take positions you cannot. Look at you guys, 20 years you've run this program successfully. It's a global brand. It has gone beyond. So that's the point where we are now. Nollywood is a global brand. It has gone beyond the era of whether we shoot ritualistic films. Those are all the films you're counting. That's the point that I'm making. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Martin Sogu, I see.
Yeah, let me contribute to that.
I see 3 people raising their hands. Nana Fakayasi, can you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, 3 people are raising
their hands. Kim Sam, can you unmute yourself? Kim Sam, please unmute yourself. Kim Sam, please unmute yourself. Okay, if you're not available, Babatunde Abidemi, please unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, Kim Sam. All right, yeah, we can hear you. Please go ahead and ask your question. Yes, we can. Please go ahead and ask the question.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Nika. Good evening, Isaac. Good evening, Nika, and every other person on the call. My name is Kimberly Samugana. I'm the founder of Comparators. I was particularly interested in what Ineka said concerning the collaboration between Goge Africa and Sterling, and in promoting local tours, which is like low-hanging fruits. Comparators is particularly interested in promoting Lagos, and that's by using the waterway, which is a connecting factor or connecting structure in Lagos. The Lagos Lagoon cuts from the Eco Atlantic all the way to Badore and even down to Ekpe. So we want to showcase Lagos by using that route, and we want to do that using kayaking. So I just wanted to say that, and also thank, this is my third time on this call, and it has been really insightful. And I just wanted to thank the organizers of the conference, Mr. Isaac and Mrs. Nika. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. All right, Babatunde Abidemi, please, you're next. Unmute yourself, please. Okay, please go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Babatunde Abidemi, a final year student of Redeemers University from the Department of Tourism. So my question is,
good afternoon, all. Just a break in transmission. His Imperial Majesty is here for you now. So I would ask if we can all just unmute our mics and greet, and then mute our mics so you can give your speech.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll turn on the
Mr.
video.
George, unmute everybody.
Okay, stand by, everyone. We are going to unmute you. Please accept the unmute command on the screen.
And it's better we greet at the same time. We should all greet at the same time. We should also at the same time.
Everybody.
Yes, you.
Your Imperial Majesty.
He's coming up with the video. I don't know why the video is on.
I'm in a meeting, Esther. Go and eat your food fast, so I can hold the gem for you. Yeah? Oh yeah, take it. Esther, give her.
That's true. That's true.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you,
Yes,
sir.
we can hear you.
Sorry, I joined you very late. It's a very important topic that is very dear to my heart. But we're having New Yam Festival and New Corn Festival. I just excused myself because I had already promised that I would join. So please bear with me. I greet you all. God bless you, and God bless all the works of your hand. This topic is something that is very passionate to my heart, and this will definitely change narratives in the tourism industry globally. As we know that this pandemic has actually changed the entire narratives of the world. The world will never be the same again. So, as the world is refreshing and rebooting, it is obvious that we, particularly of African descent, should reboot as well and see where we can have a very fantastic contribution to the entire global scheme of things. So as a result,
I want to give you my goodwill message, and for me to be fully associated with you, that I'm with you fully, and God Almighty will continue to be with you, and in the spirit of our ancestors, we will continue to excel. I can assure you that it's a very good opportunity for we that belong to the colored race. It's going to be a lot better for us. God bless you all, and God bless all the works of your hand. I came to identify with you and associate with you. Sorry for the mix-up, because I have a very large but very quiet traditional and spiritual rites that I'm doing right now. So I said, let me join you to wish you the very best in all your endeavors. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. We are just so honored to have you with us. Thank you so much. We appreciate this. It's quite an honor. And what this says is that he is in full support of domestic tourism, that he is in full support of what we are doing here and what every tourism entrepreneur is doing. He has always been very supportive, and he has continued to be. And I know he will never look back. And with him, together with everybody, it is forward ever, backward never.
Yes. Okay, if I may ask, Neka, is Sterling Bank, was you in the house, or is it Shina?
Oh, okay, yeah. You know, they shared the message. You remember? Okay, let me do it. We had a meeting over the weekend. The committee had a meeting. We have put a paper together, and we've sent it to the larger house. And the larger house would look at it and then share it with Sterling Bank. We're meeting with their management. When I say we, I happen to be one of those people in the committee, but there are about how many of us?
12.
We are going to release, there's a press release that we'll share next week so that everybody knows who made it to the committee. Those of us who didn't make it to the committee will play a supporting role. But what you need to know is that we have corporate Nigeria in that committee. We have even Nollywood represented in that committee. We have tour operators. In fact, the president of FTAN, who represents every association that has anything to do with tourism in Nigeria, is there representing all of us. We have the pilots and the aircraft aviation sector represented. Am I giving it away by Sir Alex Mumba, and so on and so forth. But next week, we are going to have a press release, either from this platform or from Sterling Bank, without which we will hear something.
Okay. Okay.
So, wow. I think we should quickly touch more, because today is Nollywood Day, really, on this platform.
Oh, yeah.
Lillian and Chidi, have you guys done justice today? What more do we need to do? When people are in the house, drag them out. Let them say their mind now. The authorities are listening. We have the special advisor to Oyo State Governor, Honorable Ademola Ige. He's here with us. He's been here from beginning, and I really appreciate him. We have a few other commissioners here with us from Enugu State. Let me see. Akwa Ibom was here last week. We have Ogun. Ogun was also here last week. We have, okay, let me not waste our time, but we have.
There is another Oba. There's another Oba in the house too.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I don't know. Could he be introduced, please? As a traditional ruler in the house, we need to recognize him and
please,
hear what from him.
Can somebody who can see and who is aware kindly introduce him? Or he can unmute himself.
Yeah, my name is Oba Dr. Olubayo Adeshola Windako. I believe I'm representing the traditional institution on this program today. I got to know of this program by way of invitation from the ONI. The ONI put it on our platform. We have a Yoruba traditional rulers platform. So I got to know of it on that platform, and I got myself, invited somehow. That was how I linked up with this program. It's a great job you guys are doing, and I believe the ONI, we invite other traditional rulers to be part of this program, especially those of us in Osun State. We have a lot of areas where I can consider as tourist attractions in Osun State. And we celebrate a lot of festivals in Osun that are really tourist attractions. For instance, what our Baba the Oni is celebrating today, I was part of it last year, is a big celebration. He just wanted to, to be modest by saying he was just a little busy. It's a major celebration in every part of Osun when we do the New Year festival. So I hope we get other traditional rulers involved. And I personally want to be part of this because my community has suffered a lot of neglect. For over 10 years, we did not have a ruler. I came on board just this January. And I'm seeking for ways of mobilizing tourists to my community. I guess what Sterling Bank is putting up will be of help to some Nollywood actors who are planning to put up a play to showcase one of the festivals that we celebrate in my community. We call it Mobu Ushara. My community is Ara in Egbedore local government of Osun State. And we are doing a lot in bringing tourists to our community. In the past, my community used to be known as Ilu Oyibo. There were a lot of white men from NISA in Ibadan, who are research fellows from America, from various universities in America. They helped us to develop what we have in Ara today, and we want to bring them back. The neglect we've suffered notwithstanding. So I want to associate with this program, and I believe it will go a long way to help a lot of communities in developing not just the tourist attractions I'm talking about, even, that plays a lot in economy, especially those of us that are rural communities. A lady just talked about how tourists want to know about the rural settings. And this is what attracts me a lot in this program. And I want to be part of you. I want to associate, and thank you for this initiative.
Thank you, Kabi. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kabi, for your submission. Thank you, sir.
Zach, do you know that, my boss, do you know that Ngozi Ngoka is in the house?
Oh, really?
Ngozi, please, where are you?
Show yourself.
She is the president of EFCA. Hello, Ngozi.
Hello, sis. How are you? Hello, everybody. Hello, tourism family.
Hello,
sorry,
Ngozi, how are you?
I'm so sorry. Uncle Isaac, hello. Good to see you.
Hello.
I'm so
here.
sorry. I can't show my face. As you know, I'm in the village and I just came out of my garden, my back garden. So I can only talk to you. I just wanted to say a few words because I heard you ask a question about Nollywood not representing Nigeria properly in their movies. And my answer to that is that it's not true. Because right here in Owerri, we have an epic village at Ihiagwa. And almost, I mean, the place is always taken. It's difficult to get a booking from, you know, in that village. I know the owners and everything, and it's so difficult to get a booking. Nollywood people are always there. And it attracts a lot of tourist attraction for us, because even students from all over the Southeast, they come there to meet Nollywood actors when they are acting over there. And of course, you know that Owerri is the center, is the heartbeat of the Southeast. And we have so many beautiful places around here. We have beautiful eateries. And there's so much that we want to do with the Nollywood actors, the footballers, and everything later, which we'll talk offline. But thank you for this opportunity and wonderful thing you're doing. I was so excited listening to the last Oba that spoke, who barged into the, you know, what you are doing, and he's fascinated. In fact, I want Neka, I want the clip of what he said, because I want to take it to the traditional rulers here and show them how tourism can really develop our villages over here. So thank you. Have a lovely weekend, everyone. Love you all. Take care.
Thank you, Ngozi. Okay. I think we're rounding up. Chidi, any last words from you, then my boss and Lillian, and that will be it. I think we've done it.
Yeah. I'd like to quickly just personally thank Onirisha. The Oni is a living, walking, breathing tourism institution by himself. He defies location. Anywhere the Oni is domiciled, that place immediately becomes a tourist attraction. So I'd like to thank the Oni. Thank you so very much, sir, for all you do everywhere that you go. So having said that, I'd like to quickly comment on this perception of Nollywood always shooting juju, quote unquote, movies. There's nothing wrong with shooting juju movies. It's perception. A product is what you call it. There's I don't have a problem shooting juju movies. It is just how we present it. How do we present it? What does the story portray? What is the outcome eventually? Our juju is different from juju around the world. But around the world, the most popular juju movie in the whole wide world right now is Wakanda movie, Black Panther. That's juju. All of the Marvel comic movies is juju. So juju is how you portray it, how you sell it. It's the same juju that Oni and people like him are helping to keep our culture going, keep our tradition going. And this is what people really want to see. They want to see the real Africa, the traditional Africa. So all we have to do is just find different ways, better ways, more high-tech ways of telling our stories, juju or no juju.
Word. Thank you, Your Imperial Majesty, for finding time despite your very tight schedule to join us. It's a pleasure having you, and may God protect you. May the gods protect you in all you do. And to GQ, my man, all the Nollywood people who took part in this conference, Madu C, Fidelis Duka, my main man from way back, right? Of course, my sister here, Lilian Alukwama. You know, you guys been doing great. I thank you so very much. And of course, my main man in the United States of America, Sir Joe Madu, he's always joining us. KBC, we thank you for joining us. And I can assure you that we're going to try in our own very possible best to direct certain level of traffic to your destination. And during one of your festivals, we would personally come and give it some coverage and see what happens from there. That's our, I mean, we've been doing this over time, spotlighting our different tourism potential and tourism attractions to the world. And we'll keep doing, we're not about to stop. It's been 20 years and counting. We're still on. And I would also like to thank Sterling Bank for their passion in the industry, and all the other people who have spoken in the past, like Dr. Alex Moba, who told us that, look, honestly, I know it's quite capital intensive, but if different airstrips, if investment is made on airstrips, set up airstrips around, it should be a lot easier to get to a lot of destinations without having to go through the harrowing bad road situation and what have you. Because like Fidelis said, the road infrastructure, access to some of these tourist locations is an issue. And the government too would have to look at how they can, at least the regulations they make towards tourism, they'll have to look at it, because we need their buy-in to make our domestic tourism effort a success. So, NECA, I don't have any more things to say. I mean, yeah. Go ahead. Hello, unmute yourself, NECA.
Yeah, I'd just like to let me just
one
thank Professor Dr. Namdi Madiche from the UK. Yeah, he's been logging in to each of the series silently in the background. So, Prof, thank you for logging in, just recognizing your presence.
Wow, Prof. Can he say hello to us?
Prof, virtual stage is yours if you're there to say hello to us. Professor Madiche, please.
Oh.
Hello, Prof.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, oh, yes, I can hear you.
Sorry, I won't be putting on my video. Thank you very much, Chidi Mokeme. We were actually classmates in secondary school, so we go way back. It's interesting because this is a very interesting sort of topic. And one of the questions I kept asking as an academic that I am is how we can engage our universities in this project. This is a very viable project. Somebody mentioned something about training and talking about drama school and all that sort of thing. Content creators, content writers, how can we engage Nigerian universities? That's a very interesting angle to explore. And of course, by engaging in Nigerian universities, it's not just getting people to actually engage in postgraduate study and research. Somebody was talking about Americans coming to undertake research. We have so much talent wasting in that country. How do we make the creative industries fashionable? So that's an interesting greeting, isn't it? Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you,
Thank
Prof.
you so much.
I hear you loud.
That's an interesting angle.
Greeting.
Yeah,
That's
it has to be
academic angle.
Yeah.
Yes, we need training and retraining. So it's an interesting angle, and we shall explore it. Prof, we'll reach out to you shortly after the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. We have this guy who kept us. Dabina Paul Abraham. Are you still here?
Yes.
Yes, I'm here. Good evening.
Abraham, please can come on. Okay, good.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dabina Paul Abraham. I really applaud this conference. I think I was invited by Mr. Isaac Moses. I've been in this industry for 25 years, but some of us work behind the scene. I was actually a neighbor to Nosaf behind the cloud. I grew up in Jos, so I know much about Nollywood. The prof has handled one of the parts I wanted to contribute, to. The other part is, I think it's high time we defined Nollywood, because I know what Hollywood is, I know what Bollywood is, and I know Hollywood has got music, has got comedy, has got fashion, has got movies. But you see, Nigerians still think Nollywood is just the movie aspect. So also musicians think Nollywood is just the music aspect. And when we're talking about tourism, I think our musicians are really doing well with spreading the voice of Nigeria across the globe. So I think when we're having conferences like this, because I've been going through the names and I found I might just be the only musician here. I make soundtracks, I do jingles for adverts and all that. But I think it's high time we bring, like Isaac Moses was saying, concerted effort. I don't think anyone understands concerted effort more than a producer. we need to bring this concerted efforts from different parts of Nollywood industry, the comedy, the music, all together, so that we speak from one voice. Because once there's power concentration, it will be easy to distribute this power. If only the actors are doing this whole push, it's at the point in time we'll meet a bottleneck with the musicians, with the comedians, and other parts of Nollywood that don't think they are part of Nollywood now. That's just my contribution. Thank you very much.
Wow,
Thank
you're welcome.
you. Thank you. Is there any other
Sorry,
person?
ma'am.
Because we are
Yes, Abidemi has been raising his hand since. Babatunde Abidemi, can you please unmute yourself?
Okay.
Babatunde Abidemi.
I see you, man.
Good evening.
Hello,
Okay.
good evening.
Good evening.
We
My
can
name is
hear you. Go
Ladislaus
ahead.
final year student of Redeemers University from the Department of Tourism. I really want to say very thank you to Prof for that suggestion, because that's the area I'm actually wanted to talk about. So, and I have another question which says that what's the plans of bringing tourism to the elementary level so that the upcoming generations will know the importance? Because when you look at it, we are just talking about tourism, and when you look at the most institutions in Nigeria, we don't really recommend tourism. It's not just about being in the industry, but knowing the basic things in the industry. So I think it's important we let people know that, okay, this industry is very, very important. It's very, very important to our generation and to the future as well. So please, thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's just the perception is beginning to change. 1 in every 10 persons you see around the world is employed in the travel and in the tourism and travel sector. So it's not a small industry. It's the biggest industry put together. Big employer of labor, big generation of forex, helps other areas of the economy. The tourism economy is huge. So we must exploit it. We must tap into it. And God willing, there's no going back. There's no letting up. Hello. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, we hear you. So we're waiting for you to wrap up. And then our technical team will give us some music to
Oh, yes. It's a wrap. GQ, I see you, man. Lillian, I see you. And to all the good people who tuned in to join us in this series 03 of our web conference, Cross-Sectoral Collaboration. I thank you for coming. And may the good Lord protect you as you go back to your various destinations and get back to your various duties. Bravo.
And don't forget, join us the same time next week.
Yes.
We'll be here for you. Send in your questions, your ideas, and whatever you have. Let's make this work. Unmute everybody. Let's say hello to our people.
My hands.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mrs. Otayo. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Let's make Nigeria great. Nigeria is our
Good to see you.
can be proud of our president. Be proud Nigeria.
I really appreciate you. Thanks. Goge Africa.
Thank you.
South Africa,
Brian Plessy, Sajo Madu, we thank you. The boss, what's the name? Dr. Raphael, we thank you. You and your group, thank you. And of course, to the Imperial Majesty, we thank you as well.
Don't forget.
Sajo Madu, I added you on Facebook. You refuse to accept me.
All right, guys. Nice hanging out.
You refuse to accept me, but don't have problem.
Okay, I will respond. Thank you, my beautiful sister. I will respond, please.
I'm so happy Nigeria is coming up with something beautiful. I love to be proud of Nigeria when I travel to Italy. You know, there is something that they say Nigeria, I say Nigeria is big. They say I should profess I love Nigeria, and then when I say I love Italy, I say no, I love Nigeria. They say we are poor, I say we are happy. You know, they vibe.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's so shall it be.
Amen.
Action speaks louder than words. Let's get into action, guys.
So much. So much.
Mr. DJ. Mr. DJ.
Sergio.
Thank you, Sergio. Madu.
Sergio.
Thank you.
God bless you, my people. Hey, Chidi.
Sergio.
Yeah, brother Chidi, well done.
Low hanging.
Thank you.
Low hanging,
Thank you.
always.
Always low hanging.
Always.
They need a bite from the
Believe me, doctor, you're correct. Please, guys, let's make it work. Let's get it to work.
Let's make it work so that you guys from the States can come down to Nigeria and make this place a happy home.
That's right. No choice.
Chidi,
take a bite.
Let's go ahead and let's have a meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me
Uza wa Goge.